So hey there, today let's build a new application. Now let's remove all the code which is already present in the project file and try out something by ourselves. So first I'm going to start my Android Studio. So let's just wait till my Android Studio loads up. So we'll start by creating a new project itself. Okay. So when you restart your Android Studio, you'll be having an option to actually uh, cancel the project to go to the LAN start page, or else you can continue with the previous application uh, which has some codes within it. So anyway, our new application will be having the same code. So let's wait till my Android Studio loads up. So as you can see over here, you can click on cancel over here. This is what I said a little bit earlier, so that what do we say, we will be taken onto this page over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new Flutter project because we are building using Flutter. So once I click on that, it will be taking me to this particular page from which I'll be selecting Flutter application. Then I'll click on next. Then I'm going to say, what do I say, I'm going to rename this project as something called as maybe I am rich app. Okay. Or maybe yeah, yes, maybe we can do I am rich app because there's a more simplest application which we can build, which just shows an image. Okay, so I'm going to add a SDK path over here again. So I'm going to go to my location where I have stored Flutter. So I'm going to select this file. So yeah, now that error is gone. So I'm going to change my location. So I want to create a new folder called as I am rich, and I want to store this particular project inside that. So I'm going to select that and click on OK. So if you want, you can go with the default description, or else you can edit it. So I'm going to click on next now. So again, so once I had already entered my package name earlier, so it will change accordingly as per new project. So as you can see, the domain extension is in the front, first part, then comes my domain, and then comes the project name. So I'll click on finish to create my project. So as you can see over here, my project is loading up. So I'm going to close this tips because as of now we don't need that. So as you can see over here, it's indexing resources. So let's wait till all of those things are over. So now this project is ready so to be edited. So this is the same code which we discussed earlier. Okay, there is a counter application. So let's start. Actually, let's straight away dive into the topic. So what I'm going to do is, from this particular region, I'm going to delete all the code. Okay, so yes, that's it. So as I said earlier, we are going to build a simple application which shows the title as well as an image. Okay, so the interesting thing is everything is widgets inside this Flutter framework. Okay, so widgets is, what do I say, like we can say that text is a widget, then buttons, images, everything is a widget. Okay, so another thing is, what do I say, this there's something called as material app, and that supports all those material packages which is coming up with Flutter. Like we discussed something in the previous lesson also, something like the icons and all those stuffs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, either I can create a stateful widget or a stateless widget with the name as my application, my app, as you can see over here, or I can straight away go with the material app over here. So we'll be dealing with both of those now. So first, let's start with direct one, that is going with material app right over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to what do I say, remove this particular thing. Okay, and So let's start with material app itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in material. Okay, so you can see over here I have an option called as material app. So once you start typing itself, these options will show up so that you can directly select that instead of writing the whole thing. Okay, so after that I'm going to open a parenthesis. The opening parenthesis, the opening bracket will be present automatically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on enter over here so that I can continue with my next set of code. So what I'm going to do is actually material app can have something like as home. Okay, so this home is something like, what do I say, the house, like maybe we can consider something like it's our house and it accommodates people like us, something like that. So home can accommodate a scaffold in this case. Okay, scaffold is actually a kind of widget which actually provides the whole layout of the application, and we can build different things inside that. Okay, so or else if we don't want to build this scaffold right away, we can redirect it to another dart file which has the same set of code. So let's try that. I'm not going to make it difficult for you, so let's start. So I'm going to type in home and select that. So as said earlier, so as you can see now, this is the parent. Okay, material app is the parent, and we are going to give it a like, what do I say, provide a child for it. That is, we want scaffold. Okay, so I'm going to click on scaffold, and again I am opening the braces. So one important thing again to note is that it's everything is that is everywhere there is parenthesis. Okay, opening and closing, so make sure that it doesn't get what do I say, mixed up. Okay, so inside scaffold we can have different things like the colors, which we changed to red in the previous lesson, or we can have the application bar which shows the title, the nav bar, the body, then the floating action buttons and stuffs like that. Okay, so what do we need first? Actually we need what do I say, okay, before going to scaffold, let's try something different. So I'm going to give a text as the child for material app or the home, and I'm going to enter something called as I am rich. Okay, so let's try running this code before diving into the other part. So I'm going to click on run over here. So it will take some time since this is the first build, so let's wait till my application loads up in this emulator. Okay, so as you can see over here, my application is being installed onto my emulator over here. So yeah, let's check what is coming up. So this is what came up. Okay, so you might find this to be a little bit awkward because what do I say, a complete black screen and in the red text with a yellow underscore and some kind of weird like logic, right? So this happens because we don't define a scaffold, because we don't you create a layout for our Flutter application. So let's try writing something to this text and try out what happens. I'm rich, but I don't have money. Okay, it wait a minute, do not have money. So I'm going to hot reload this application. Okay, yeah, let's try this. I'm going to hot reload this application. So it didn't come because it's not defined in a stateful widget. So let's try hot restarting. uh, yeah, hot restarting might work. Yeah, this is how it looks like without adding a scaffold. Okay, so let's just try by adding a scaffold. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this text. Okay, what happened right now? So I'm going to remove this particular thing, child, from home, and I'm going to add a scaffold. So let's define this and let's try to run this code again. So I clicked on hot restart now. So now my application just showed a blank screen because that is what is done by a scaffold. It lays out a layout so that we can work on that. So first things first, what do I need inside this particular layout? Okay, so I want to have an app bar over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press enter, then I'm going to give a what do we say, app bar to it. Okay, so we need an app bar, so I'm going to select app bar from the option. So inside app bar we need to create an app bar, like we need to type in app bar again to select that. Okay, that is, it's kind of similar to providing a child to app bar, but the procedure is likewise. Okay, so inside app bar, what do I need? I need to provide a title, right? So what do I say? Rich. Okay, let it be rich, but it doesn't work that way. So what should I do? I should what did I said earlier something like this. No, everything is widget inside this. So text is also a widget. So as defined earlier, we should do something like this. So for defining a text, we should use the text widget, and inside the parenthesis and inside the single quote, so double quote, whatever bait, we should define whatever we should uh, have. So I'm going to add rich. So let's try restarting this app by a hot restart. So now let's look at what appears right now. So yes, as you can see over here, the app bar came with a title called as rich. So what if we want to what do I say, what if we want this text to be towards the center of the app bar? So you can do it in two ways, but actually it's the same. So let's try it. So instead of providing text widget over here, I'm just going to cut that. Okay, instead of providing this text as a child, what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide sender. Okay, then inside sender I'm going to define a child, and there I am going to paste that text. So let's look at what comes right now. So once I hot restart this application, my text, the title will move towards the sender. Okay, so this is called as wrapping a particular widget using some other widget. Okay, that is similar to wrap. There's a one widget, we can use something to wrap it. So here what I did is I had a text widget, I used the sender widget to what wrap it, and thus made the text appear at the sender. Okay, so there are two ways to wrap a widget. So one method is by typing in sender as usual, or else what you can do is and like we had this text over here earlier, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll just click on text over here, anywhere on text. So you can see a yellow bulb over here, click on that. So here you can see different option. Okay, wrapping with different widgets that's being commonly used. So what I'm going to do is wrap with widget, so something will appear like this. So what I'm going to select is here, without clicking or typing or doing anything, just straight away type in which widget you want. So I want sender widget, so I'm going to click on sender and add a comma over here to complete that what do I say, like convention. So let's try um, restarting the app. You'll be viewing no change because there's no change because it was there in the sender, and now also it's there in the sender. So maybe we can change the text and write. Okay, so now as you can see over here, now our title changed to richness, but it remained in the center because this is how we do it. Okay, so that's regarding this title. So next we can go for a color, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select background color because we need to change the background color of the app bar. So I'm going to select background color. So we need to change the colors. Okay, so the method in which we do it in Flutter is we are going to type in something like, there's a lot of option like color dot value or blend mode dot color. There's a lot of things, so you can just straight away go and select colors. So be sure that while selecting the colors you should use colors. Okay, colors dot whichever color we want. So if I want green, just type in green. Okay, then you know, like the color will appear over here. Okay, I'm going to restart my application again so that my application will turn to a green theme. Okay, yes, my application changed. So if you want to change the text color also, what you're going to do is outside this single quotes put a comma, add those like add something like style, because it's similar to website development. Add style, then we need to change the style of the text. So what we are going to do is to choose text style from the option text style. Okay, so which selected that, open a bracket, then inside that we have to change the color, right? So select the color. So what I want is I want a blue color, colors dot blue. Okay, yes, now let's try restarting the application again, and let's wait. So now my application, like the title changed to a blue color. It's kind of weird, right? So let's change it to maybe yellow. Yeah, let's go with yellow. So I'll restart this application. So now when we check, actually my text color changed to, yes, yellow color. Okay, and if I want to change the size, what I can do is just add a comma again, go with the font size option over here, and let's select, wait a minute, yeah, let's try running this application now. So yes, my size, the title of the size of the title changed. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add font size. So I want it to be something like 35, and I'm going to restart this application. So you know, yeah, so right now we can understand this. No, every time whenever I click on this hot restart button, it takes me around 4 seconds to like bring the changes. So in that case the hot reload comes to our rescue, but right now we can't use hot reload because we are not using a stateful action. So we'll be doing that after doing this particular writing, like finishing off it in this region. Okay, so now what I go we have a title, app bar, and everything. So if you want to what add a navigation bar or something like that, you can do it outside this application bar and do something like what do I say, so sorry, not navigation bar, we call it as a drawer. So you can select drawer, then click on drawer again and create a parenthesis and try running the application. So now towards the left side top our drawer will come up, but it won't be having any functionalities because we haven't defined anything. So as you can see over here, there's a drawer right now. When you click on that, this particular drawer opens, but there's nothing inside that because we didn't define anything. So we don't want a drawer right now, so I'm going to remove that particular code and going to restart that application. So what do we need next? So now we have this what do we say, application bar or app bar over here, and it has a text within it. So let's create some text in this white region too, right? So what do I need to do? So outside application bar you can do something like call it as body. Okay, so this is defined as a body area, so let's try with that body. And what do we need inside a body? We need, if you need a text, you can go with a text saying maybe hello world. Okay, so I'm going to run this app again. So now this hello world text will show towards this part over here, that is right there. So now you might be feeling some kind of like this text is actually close to the like the, what do I say, border of the phone, right? That is the, what do I say, edge of the phone, right? So what if there's a notch or something like that? What do we do? So for that, there's some feature called safe area inside Flutter. So what it does is, as the name suggests, it makes sure that all those widgets stays away from this dangerous areas like notches, punch holes, and similar stuffs. So I'm going to wrap this text inside a safe area, okay, so that it doesn't appear in notches and similar stuff. So yes, I'm going to select safe area and then trying running that. You might not like view some changes as of now because there's no notch in this device, so there's nothing dangerous in this case. So one more thing, if you find a red square, what you are going to do is to just place your cursor over anywhere and click on, or press the tab icon so that it goes away, okay. So right now, my what do I say, my hello world widget, that is a text widget, is present over here. So what if I need to have it towards the sender? I'll just wrap it in a sender widget. That's what I do. So yes, let's do that, sender, and I'm going to restart this application. Okay, so my text will shift towards the sender of my application. So yes, it happened. So similar way, in this, like in this similar way, you can change the font size as well as the colors. So there's a different method to change the, what do I say, the font family, or what do I say, font style. So we'll be dealing with that later on. So in right now, I'll share something interesting. So right now our code appears to be okayish, but there's something called as the dart format, okay. So what you have got to do it to arrange it in that particular thing is, you have to select all the file, right click, and now an option will appear as usual, and from this you can select this option, that is reformat with dart fmt. So once I click on that, my whole code appear to appear like this. So this is way cool than before, right? So yes, that's how we do it. So yes, let's now, what do we do, let's now like we started off with an aim to create an application which has an image in it, right? So let's do that. So we have, like, I have a image of a diamond over here. Obviously we are building a rich app, so we need to use diamond over there, okay. So I have an image of a diamond. So what I had to do is to drag and drop inside this directory. So I can do that simply. So what I go to do is, I'll just click on this I'm rich project and then go down. Okay, no need to go down. Right click on this I am rich, then select new, and from there you can create a new directory, okay. So I'm going to name that directory as images, okay. So once I create a directory named as images, I can just simply drag and drop my diamond image to that particular directory, okay. So what I'm going to do is, I'm dragging this image and moving it to my images directory, then I'm going to click on OK. So now my diamond will be inside the images directory. You can select that to view it or whatever thing. So it's now available inside the directory. So let's go back. Yes. So now what do we need? We have this particular image in our directory, but it doesn't work as usual. There's something else more important we have to do. So there's, in this particular directory, you can find over here there is something like pubspec.yaml, okay. So this particular directory, which is useful to store assets, get the dependencies for some packages and all those stuff. We'll be dealing with that in detail later on. So here all those things that appear in green is commented, okay, except these things, okay, that is those which starts with a hash is a comment. So we can deal with the details later on. So when you come down, you can see something like this, right? So if you want to add assets, you can add it like this. So first we have to define assets, then we can define the images and similar ways. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we need to add uh, assets, right? So I'm just going to what do I say, copy this particular code and paste it beneath this thing. So now it is so now this is active. So there's something which you have to check as always. Make sure that the indentation between assets is assets and the space is actually a tab space. Make sure that. Okay, then what you have to do is the bottom one, it should be having double tab spaces. Okay, now it is okay because it is okay. So one more thing, so this is not our image, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that. So either you can go with something like this, which say which gives some information to Flutter, like it can access everything inside this images directory. Make sure that this is a double tab space, and make sure that this has a space in between. Make sure that you are naming the directory correctly. Make sure that you are finishing it off with a forward slash, and yes, or else if you want you can name it the name the exact name of the image. So you can either go with diamond dot png, or you can go with just images. So if you are going with images, you don't have to, what do I say, rename the add particular code like this to pubspec.yaml again and again whenever you add more and more images, because it will be automatically added. Or else you can add, like if I'm adding the diamond.png over here, I will be required to add the other name of the image if I'm going to use another one. So right now we can stick with this one. So what do I have to do next? So we updated the package with a new image, right? So what I go to do is I have to click on packages get over here to make sure that my image is being added to the package. So you can see over here that something is running over here, that is a pub get command is being running. So it finished with exit code 0, that is there's no error. Okay, so now let's come back to the main.dart file, and what we have to do is before uh, going proceeding, we can just terminate this application and restart it from scratch, because we added a new package, and for that to be in action we need to restart this application. So I'm going to click on this stop button over here. So when we click on that, the project, uh, the emulator and the studio will be remaining connected, but the project will not be present in this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rerun this application. So let's wait till this is installed again onto my device, emulator device. So now our application is being installed into our device. So it's as usual, like as it appeared before, but our image has been added. So what we can do is we want an image, right? So what I'm going to do is, instead of let's just go without sender, right, for the time being. So instead of what do I say, instead of sender we can go with something called as image. Okay, so image, so just click on image, and then you can just create a parenthesis, then inside that you can go with image, like we are providing the path to the image. Okay, so we have our image inside our asset, right? So I'm going with asset image, assets. So we can call asset image. So when you type that, it will come in front of you, and inside single quotes I'm going to provide the path to the image. So it's easy because we have it inside the images directory. So I'm going to provide images slash the full name with the extension of that image, that is diamond.png. So now let's try to hot restart this application. Okay, now this hello world will be gone and we'll be having an image of that particular diamond. Okay, look at here, we have that big glowing diamond over here. But you know, it's towards the top part, so we can bring it to this center. Right now I'm going to wrap this asset image um, with, what do I say, with that sender widget. So where did my button go? So I'm going to wrap it inside that sender thing. Yes, I'm going to rerun this application. So now once it reloads, like, my diamond will move towards this sender. Okay, now it came towards the sender. Okay, so now one more thing what we can do is, our background is kind of completely bright, right? We can change that to maybe dark one. So what you have to do is, before going to the child widget, we can just enter background, maybe color. So in order to change the color, what we can do is go outside this particular child class. Okay, that is inside the body, outside this child class, that is we have safe area, then sender, then comes image and all everything. So let's come outside of this safe area, that is over here, and provide something called as background color. So we can change it to colors dot, maybe let's try black for the time being. So let's try restarting the application. So now, yeah, it looks kind of, what do I say, uh, really contrasting colors, right? So maybe let's stick with that. Okay, and I'm going to change this green color to maybe, let's try with red, and I'm going to restart this application. What did it appear? Okay, it's still kind of contrasting colors, right? Okay, you can try out whichever colors you want. Okay, yes, that's regarding that. So we have built an application which shows an image with a text. So this is basically the I am rich app. Actually there's a story behind this I am rich app. Okay, so once like the for the mobile phones were launched, and mainly this iOS devices were launched, there was one developer who created an application called as I am rich app. Okay, so basically what it did was, it didn't have any particular features. It just had a big diamond image big diamond image. But what he did was, when he published it to the app store, he made that app like a paid one with a price tag of $999 back in 2007 or 2008. Okay, so he also specified that there's no particular features inside this application. You can just show it off because you're buying it for $999. So that was a concept behind this I am rich app. So it's basically a simple application which has a text field as well as a diamond button over here. So yes, that's regarding this I am rich app. So this was one way for building this application. So I said that there was different ways, so let's try running something different. Okay, that is in a different way. So I'm going to select this material application part, that is, it remains same for both the cases. I'm going to select that, I'm going to copy that, I'm going to cut that from there. So here we used to have something like my app over there, right? So we can go with that itself, my app, with a parenthesis. But right now we see that there's an error over here. As you can see, it's saying that the function my app isn't defined. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to define a stateful function. So for stateful, there's a plenty of code, so not plenty, some lines of code. So in order to avoid typing that, you can go with stful, that is stateful, and press enter. So now make sure that you are not changing this particular cursor from here, and just straight away type in this name, my app. So what happens is this becomes this particular name will appear over here as well as over here, and now my app is defined and the error is gone. Okay. So now um, the specialty of stateful widget is that stateful widget supports hot reload feature. Okay, so earlier we went through that, right? Clicking on hot restart all the time whenever we wanted to bring in a change. So while using this stateful app we can avoid that particular thing. Okay, so let's try it. So as you can see over here, just you don't have to worry about this code over here right now. Let's just look at over here. So this stateful widget actually returns something like a container over here. Container is just like a container which can have anything inside that. Okay, so let's try running this application. So everything over here will be gone because there's nothing except a container for this application right now. Okay, so see over here, it took me 4 seconds for the application to reload again. It should return something like what it had inside that material app. That is, it should return a material app so that we can make use of all the features within that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste the code which I selected earlier, which had everything from material app. So I'm going to paste it over there. So as you can see over here, there's a slight error over here. So the error is because there's an extra closing brace over here. So let's try removing that, and still the error is here because the final closing brace should have a semicolon. So let's try that, and now our error is gone. So actually what we did is we created a stateful widget and named it as my app. Then we provided this my app over here so that the application will be running my app, which is a stateful widget. And inside stateful widget we return material app, which was the same which we put directly inside this run app over here. So actually it's just that we added stateful widget over here. So let's try to run this code right now and check whether there's any error or not. So my application restarted in 3 minutes, like nearly 4 seconds. 4 seconds. So now this is what appeared earlier too, right? So now let's play with the hot reload button, right? So I want to change this color of the text, or maybe the background to maybe something like what do I change it to? A shade of white. So I'm going with uh, white 70. Okay, sorry, white what do I say, white 70. And then I'm going to click on hot reload. So now it changed. Okay, I don't want that. So what do we do? Let's go first change the background of the body, right? So I'm going to add uh, white 70 over here. Wait a minute, white 70. Okay, my number lock is turned on. 70. Then I will reload this application. Okay, that's kind of weird, right? So I will remove that 70 with a white 10. Let's try to reload this application. Yeah, that looks fine right now, right? So let's change the color of this thing too. So let's make it or maybe let it be like that. Oh yeah, maybe we can change it to something like deep purple. Let's try with that. Okay, I'm weird with this color combinations. You can try out whichever you want. Okay, and yeah, I think this appears fine right now. So if you're wondering why there's it like it labeled like debug over here, it's to show that this is the debugging version. That is the this particular version of application is not ready for deployment. So if you want to just change that, just you can go to Flutter inspector over here, then select this more actions from here, then just click on hide debug mode banner. So now that's gone. I can close this. So now it looks fine, right? So this is what we were to build. Okay, So maybe what if I wanted to add something like a text right now, um, along with this. Okay, let's try to do that. But where do we do that? So that's it. That's some portion which can be mentioned in another lesson. So yes, so for the time being we have built this I am rich app. So it basically had this image over here with an app bar which is having a text and everything. So yes, let's try something like no, let's not. Yeah, that's it for this video, because we'll be discussing more of this later on. So yes, so I will share one more thing, like if you want to change the icon, that is by default, let's check. By default our application is having where is it, this particular logo, that is a Flutter logo. So if you want to change that, let's do that right away. So let's click on right, then create wait a minute, not like that. We are dealing with the Android right now, so make sure that okay, let's just do it for the Android right now. I'm going to right click on this Android over here, and clicking on new, then going with new image asset. uh, Let it load. Yeah, now it's loaded. So right now, we know, right, we want an image. uh, okay, let it respond for the first time. Yeah, yep, yeah, we want an image asset type as image, that is we want an diamond icon. So what I'm going to do is I will click on image right here, and I want to select that particular image which I want it to be appearing as the icon. Okay, so we know I just copied that, I just transferred my and diamond icon to this project, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going inside this image folder, and inside images directly I have this diamond png, so I'm going to select that. So right now this is over here, so my diamond image is actually quite exceeding the dimensions required. So I'm going to stick within the circle, or maybe within this square and all. So I want my background to be a black solid layer, so I'm going to select it as I'm going to select this background layer, then select this color over here, then click on this color, then you can select whichever color you want. I'm going with black. I'm going to choose that. Now it looks quite okay. It's not the best one, I can guarantee that. So let's just try with that. This is a demo version, so let's try that. So I'm going to click on next. So let's wait. So it's saying that it will be rewriting some files. We can click on finish. Okay, for the time being. So let it load. No, there's no need to load actually. Let's try to stop this application and run it again to check whether the icon has been changed to that particular diamond icon which we added earlier. So let's wait till my application gets reinstalled again. So as you can see, my application launched again. So let's go back and check whether our app icon is new one. Yes, as you can see over here, our application icon has been changed from the Flutter logo to the default what do I say, uh, default diamond image which we selected. Okay, so let's try one more thing before closing this lesson. So that is, here we provided something like asset image, right? So what I'm going to do is, instead of asset image, I'm going to give something like network image. So as you can imagine, like as you can imagine, like the network image is the same as getting an image from the internet source. So as usual, I select network image, open the parenthesis and open the code. So I want an image right now. So yeah, I'm going to select diamond image. Okay, let's wait till my system becomes responsive. I'm going to search for that diamond image, and yeah, from the images I want an image like I want a transparent image. Okay, so I'm going to select transparent from the tools. Okay, from the colors, transparent background. So now let's select something from here. So I'm going to select uh, maybe this one, or maybe this one. I think this is, no, it's having poor quality. So let's select anyone, right? So I will go with this one. Okay, it's not having transparent background. What happened? So yeah, maybe this one. I'm going to, oh god, this is kind of weird, right? But anyway, let's try this for the demo version. So just right click, select copy image address, then go back to Android Studio, then keep up the emulator, then add that particular link over here. Okay, it should start with HTTPS. Make sure that the link is starting with HTTPS, or else there'll be some error. So now I'll just click on what do I say, hot pre load button. Okay, so now that particular image has been fetched from the internet source. Okay, so that's the difference between asset image and network image. There is asset image, the image will be getting that image from the asset which we had to add it earlier. And if it's a network image, we can have any other image from the internet source, like maybe there's no good image because that yeah, let's try with this one. Actually, all this, yeah, let's try this one. This is an amazing image. I think I'm going to change this URL to the new one. Let's try reloading this application. Where's my emulator? Yeah, that's amazing, right? So yes, so this is regarding the I am rich application. I know that this is a little bit long tutorial, but we did something amazing, right? We created an I am rich application. So one more important thing which I had to share along with this is that uh, I know, like, some of you people might be uh, what do I say, installing these applications onto your Android device, that is your physical device. So in that case, you can select that when you connect it via USB cable. After putting it in the debugging mode, it will be appearing over on these options. You can select that and run this, and the same will be happening. So in that case, your system won't become unresponsive for some time in between, because a great load will be reduced once you remove this emulator. Okay, so in that case, it if while during like when we are running it in the what do we say, debugging mode, all these functionalities will be same for the emulator. The image will be loading and everything will be fine. But once we build the final project, the image won't be appearing as we expect, because the application needs the internet permission, and we have to provide it inside the manifest file of the Android folder, as well as for something inside the iOS folder too. So we'll be dealing with that later on when we finally build our APK. So as of now, in this debug mode, yes, in this debug mode it is okay. So yes, so that's for this tutorial. We'll learn something exciting in the next tutorial. So